Good morning, everyone. Can I please ask you to turn your phones to silent? And can I please ask you to stand as we welcome in the Matric class of 2021. Thank you. Can I please ask that you remain standing, I'm so sorry, for the school song. may now be seated. I call on Rabbi Cannon to deliver the Devar Torah.
Good morning, everybody. A warm welcome, all our parents, our governors, our wonderful staff, and most importantly, the Matric group of 2021. It's a beautiful moment for me to deliver the final Devar Torah in an official way, at least for the Matric year group. And every year, at the end of the year, I have to think of something as a final message to say. But this year, it feels so surreal. The first time in 20 months that I'm delivering a Devar Torah in the hall, even the feeling of just clapping felt very surreal. It is so special to be able, I feel like it's the first Devar Torah I'm giving to the Matric year group, not the last. But just to draw upon the wisdom of the Torah and of our sages and think of something that's apropos and something hopefully inspiring to leave our Matric year group with for this year. The parasha that this year's valedictory has fallen in, which is always serendipitous and always has a message for us. It's quite uncanny, no matter which parasha of the year the valedictory falls out, there's always something to really draw upon for a parting Matric year group. Parashat Vayera, the word Vayera means to see, to appreciate, to have vision. And this is the parasha where we really get introduced on a super level to Abraham and to Sarah, the progenitors of the Jewish people. All of us here today are their legacy. And they began forming that legacy in Parashat Vayera. Hashem appeared to them because of their active pursuit of kindness and chesed in the heat of the day, when Abraham was on his third day post-operation of his Brit Milah, the most painful day. And because he was actively pursuing that value of chesed, so Hashem had no option but to appear himself, to visit the sick, and to provide him with angels who he could give a meal to. That's unbelievable. The ability to push past that pain because the values that we hold are so important that even at difficult times we'll still be able to pursue them. And the next time in the Torah where you see this word Vayera is at another critical moment in Jewish history, and that's the moment where Moshe Rabbeinu becomes the leader of the Jewish people. Abraham becomes our progenitor from a peoplehood point of view, and Moshe as the giver of the law and the creation of the religion itself. And in both those moments, you see an amazing thing. When Moshe becomes the leader, it was the moment of the burning bush, and again, it's that word Vayera, he saw. And the common thread between both is that both Abraham and Moshe were not passive participants in their own life. They were active drivers. They were in the front seat of their own life. When something unique would be there, they would have the ability to see it. They didn't just let life pass them by. And when we look to the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, it says an amazing thing about going into your 20s, which is the year that many matriculants next year and the year after will go into the next decade, matrics of your life. And what is it that our sages talk about that decade of your life? It's Ben Esrim Lirdof, this word Rodef, which means to pursue. That you're at a state of life and a stage of life where you have to be active pursuers of that which you want to do, that which you want to achieve, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. You have to actively pursue it. You cannot sit back and passively hope that your life will turn out the way you want it to turn out. The formation years are the years of education, and how precious those are, because they form your worldview, and then you can go out and actually pursue that view that you've created. And to conclude, in the wonderful words of Chief Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, when speaking about education and the importance of that formation and giving the drive to children to want to make the world a better place and to want to achieve and to want to be successful in careers and in life, Rabbi Sachs points out an amazing idea. We all know that Moshe Rabbeinu, arguably the greatest Jew of all time, the greatest heavyweight champion of the world. How do we know? What's his name? How do we know him by? He was a great prophet. He was a leader. But we don't call him any of those things. In Jewish tradition, we have one word for Moshe, not Moshe our prophet, not Moshe our leader, not Moshe our king. It's Moshe Rabbeinu. The greatest accolade that could be provided on the greatest Jew of all time was Rabbeinu, which means he was our teacher. Judaism places the utmost precedence on somebody who is prepared to create during those formative education years an opportunity to build deeply inside a young Jewish child that education process. That's the number one accolade. Moshe Rabbeinu, above all else, he was our teacher. And it's in that pursuit of education and that pursuit of building that Chief Rabbi Sachs says is the battleground for a good nation or for a good society. It's not found in philosophy. It's not found in battles of leadership. The battleground to create a great nation is found in education. And so my blessing to this year's Matric group of 2021 is you hold on to that blessing of that beautiful education you have received, the heroes who are your teachers, and especially over the last 2 years, how they've created that education process for you. And you realize how deeply rooted those seeds have been planted. And please God, in years to come, they will flourish and you will be able to pursue becoming the best versions of yourselves. Bracha v'hatzlacha and mazal tov.
Good morning, Matrics of 2021, special guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sally Boddington, and I'm the head of grade 12. What an absolute privilege it is to welcome you all to the Valedictory of 2021. From level 5 to level 1, from no parents to 2 parents. How fantastic to be in the hall today and celebrating with these amazing young people. First, I'd like to talk through a few housekeeping issues. Please can I ask you all to keep your masks on unless you're speaking at the podium, and please can I ask you to remain in your allotted seat for the COVID protocols and tracing. There is also sanitizer positioned at the exits at the back of the hall for your convenience. It is such an honor to have an influence, Matrix, in mentoring all of you. Many of you have been in my office. We've laughed, we've cried. Sometimes we've had socially distanced cups of tea, and we have many, many times tried to make sense of this very short, busy, and very challenging year. I can honestly say that I don't know how you've all managed to make it through this year. You've shown resilience, you've shown strength and agility, and have managed to navigate the year and make it look so easy. Sometimes I forget that this is all abnormal and we're living in a totally different time. You are an absolutely astounding group of people, and you have given me tremendous hope. One of my personal highlights during the year was Chai to Chai. Each one of you brought something special to that event, to the children in grade 1 at the various Herzlia schools, and showed them what Menschlichkeit really means. I'm always biased to say that science is my favorite table, and that table did a sterling job, but I'm not sure that I'm ever going to quite forget the dance moves that I witnessed in Mrs. Meskin's classroom, complete with all the glitter. On Monday, I had my meeting with Mr. Ford for my own daughter to come to big school at Herzlia Highlands Primary. And it made me reflect, on the students who matriculate and move on from us, who they become, how do we prepare them, and how do they impact on the world around them. You've all moved on from the excitement of putting on a uniform when you first entered the school to the excitement of finally wearing whatever you want to every day, all day. From the excitement of being part of the collective United Herzlia Schools group, to the excitement of being part of something much bigger, out in the world and in your own field of choice. You've been prepared for a challenging and a changing world. You are powerful individuals who know your mind, and more importantly, as our school song says, you know who you are. The conversations I've had with all of you recently about what you're planning is so invigorating. Medical school, gap year, soldier, computer engineering, performing arts. You are such a diverse group. Each of you has left an impact on the school, certainly on me, and I'm sure on the teachers in the classrooms and your mentors. And there will be a gap left for all of us when you leave. I can only wish you good luck on your adventure ahead, as well as your upcoming exams. I would now like to call on Mrs. Jackie Meskin, Assistant Head of Grade 12, for her message to the matric body.
It is with great joy, and of course sadness too, that I address you matrics of 2021. To have played even a small role in guiding and mentoring you has been an honor and a pleasure. I'm confident that your time at Herzlia has prepared you to find your place in the world. This is your hour, this is your time, and I wish you all so much love and happiness in whatever path of life you choose to travel. I would like to end off with the traditional blessing that we always give to our children. May God bless you and watch over you. Yevarechecha Hashem Yishmarecha. May God cause his countenance to shine to you and favor you. Yair Hashem panav elecha v'kunecha. May God raise his countenance towards you and grant you peace. Yiseh Hashem panav elecha v'yaseh lecha shalom. We will now have a musical item by Joshua Sifrin-Sher, accompanied by Dylan Friedman, followed by an address from Sharon Levy, the Vice Chair of the UHS Board, and then an address from Mr. Andres van Rensen. I now call on Josh and Dylan.
Thanks. How are you going to do that? You've got a fast car. I've got a plan to get us out of here. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, I got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll get somewhere. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You've got a fast car. I've got a plan to get us out of here. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, I got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll get somewhere. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. man had a problem. He lived with a bottle, that's the way it is. Said his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. Said somebody's gotta take care of him. So I quit school, that's what I did. So remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast, felt like I was drunk. City lights flashed around before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulders. And I had a feeling like I belong. And I had a feeling like I could be someone, be someone. You got a fast car, I've got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at a convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just across the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and see what it means to finally be living. So remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast, felt like I was drunk. City lights flashed around before us, and my arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulders. And I had a feeling like I belong. And I had a feeling like I could be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. It's leave tonight or live or die this way.
Class of 2021, Mr. Faulkner, principals, rabbi, UHS directors, board members, teachers, and parents, welcome. It is customary for the UHS chairperson to deliver a speech to our valedictorians. Today, Matthew Grusd, our chairperson, has very kindly bestowed this honor on me. I have been asked to address you here today as I stand here not only as a Herzlia board member, but also as a proud matric mother and an ex-Herzlian as well. I vividly recall sitting in this hall many years ago and attending my own valedictory. I must confess that after I was approached to make the speech, I Googled the exact meaning of valedictorian, which means, from Latin, to say farewell, especially formally. I thought this was particularly apt given the very few formal occasions we have been able to have in the last 18 months. And so this makes it so special and significant that we are finally able to be here together in person to mark this occasion formally. Although I was asked to address the matric class of 2021, as I wrote my speech, I realized that it is not only the matrics gathered here today that share in this moment. All of us here today are vested in this significant occasion. This includes all of you parents who have shared in every moment of this journey, and of course the dedicated staff, principals, and administrators who have walked the road beside us. But most importantly, of course, I address all of you, the matric class of 2021. It feels like I've waited a very long time to say that. So firstly, to all of the parents out there, all I can say is wow. Together, we as parents have shared so much. We have agonized over whether our children's pencil grip was correct. We have stood on the side of more sports fields than we care to remember. We have waved our children off to multiple school camps, worrying about whether we had packed everything and whether they would have enough to eat. We have watched school plays and awards ceremonies together, and we have shared in the highs and lows of our children's school careers. A thank you to all of the parents who, as is so typical in this unique Herzlia community, have always been willing to parent not only their own children, but their children's friends as well. And now to all of the many teachers, principals, assistants, school secretaries, and administrators. We can only say thank you. Thank you for nurturing and caring for our children. Thank you for expanding their minds, teaching them to think and to question. Thank you for bandaging up the many cuts and scrapes, for encouraging our children when they felt they had lost their way, and for enduring our panicked calls the many times we succumbed to Jewish angst. Thank you for holding our children and providing this amazing foundation for them. And now the reason we are all here, to all of you. By this point today, you are prepared for your final examinations. You may not feel prepared, but you, your teachers, and certainly your parents have been building up to this point for a very long time now. Have confidence in yourselves that you are ready. As I stare at your faces, I think back to all we have shared in our more than 12-year journey together. As I look at all of you, I remember the first day of grade 1, as you nervously tried to walk in those very hard, uncomfortable school shoes. Watching you all as you navigated the cricket and soccer fields in your 2 big cricket pads, and made us so proud as you performed in music, speech, and dance Eisteddfods. And then as you finished junior school, your excitement at leaving for SOS camp. Together, we as parents watched you walk towards the middle school on the first day of grade 7 in your new blazers. I remember your Namibia trip, the Romeo and Juliet school play, and those that attended Dilla, and suddenly seeing you all look so beautiful at the high school fashion show. And then a few weeks ago, we all watched you dress up for your matric dance. And it took my breath away. And as I watched you all on that night, and as I see you today, I am struck by how grown up you have all become. Today you stand on the cusp of your futures. If I can be so bold and a bit corny as to try to share some lessons I think could be useful. All great achievements start with small steps. Don't get overwhelmed by how far you have to go. Just be brave enough to take the first step. You're only 18. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't always have to focus on being inspired. Focus instead on how you can be inspiring. In a world of uncertainty, define success on your own terms. And finally, be brave, be positive, be kind, and most importantly, have fun. You have been incredibly privileged to have experienced this unique and nurturing school and community for the past 12 years. Herzlia is a school like no other. It is a private school, yet a community school. While we as parents can be quick to criticize and find fault, always striving for the best for our children, let us take a step back and recognize the system and community that developed you all into the mentors you are today. Class of 2021, the board, your parents, principals, and teachers are all very proud of you. This is a huge milestone in your lives. It is a huge achievement and one that deserves celebration. But I also feel obligated to say to you today, as I watch you embark on new and exciting chapters in your lives, hold on to these memories. It has occurred to me that you are a matric class that, more than any before, is about to be dispersed all over the world. Hold on to the lessons that you have gained from this special time in your lives. Herzlia will always be a part of you, and you a part of Herzlia. Now go forward and make us all proud. The world is waiting for you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. You didn't come to listen to me. You came here for a different purpose. But I must say, as the rabbi was busy speaking, I heard the school bell ring, and I realized this is real, and it was so wonderful. So good morning, everyone, online and in person. A special good morning to our VIP guests, the matric class of 2021. I have spoken before about my habit to watch the sunset at the end of each day. There is so much beauty and meaning in it. I just never want to miss it, especially here in Cape Town. Do you get any more beautiful anywhere in the world? It's always so special. Now, the end of your school career is like a sunset. Today's special event is meant to be beautiful, like the sunset at the end of your years at Herzlia as a Herzlia pupil, the pinnacle at the end of a long school career. And as the sun of 2021 goes down, the stars of a new day starts appearing. Little bright indicators at the beginning of your life as a Herzlia alumnus. Whether it be as a student, starting a job, taking a gap year, traveling, or whatever you choose to do, the excitement is there. I feel honored to be present and celebrate with you in person today. Congratulations to every recipient of an award, but also to everyone who make it successfully to the end. Today we celebrate together. After this, I hope you all get your noses firmly into your books to ensure you are well prepared for the approaching examinations, because you all know there is no such thing as good luck in examinations. But there's definitely something like action and consequence and reward. I wish you all well, and I wish you success. And all of us here, whether we are here in person or online, we want you to succeed. But to your parents, I can say, good luck with the examinations. Matriculants, generations before you paved the way by making it possible for you to attend this very unique school. Don't forget Herzlia when you are no longer here. Keep contact. Let us know how you are doing and what you are achieving, who you are marrying, and where in the world you go. And when you get the opportunity to attend one, I hope to see you at the next reunion. P.S. don't throw this program with all the beautiful photographs away. I promise you, it is going to mean a lot to you in years to come. And then just one last thing. Don't forget to enroll your children at Herzlia.
Thank you. We'll now have a musical interlude by Adam Gradner, followed by Benjamin Zaar's head student address, and then Mr. Faulkner to deliver his message.
Lying isn't better than silence. Floating, but I feel like I'm dying. Still, no matter where I go, at the end of every road, you were good to me. You were good to me, yeah. I know it's easier to run after everything I've done. You were good to me. You were good to me. God only knows where our fears go. Hearts I've broke, now my tears flow. You see that I'm sorry, 'cause you were good to me. You were good to me. And now I'm closing every door, 'cause I'm sick of wanting more. You were good to me. You were good to me. Swear I'm different than before. I won't hurt you anymore. You were good to me. You were good to me.
Sure, that was really good, hey? Good morning, parents, teachers, special guests, Rabbonim, and of course, the class of 2021. Today, we acknowledge what has been the accumulation of 12 years worth of dedication, hard work, and perseverance. We're finally here, nearing the end of our journey. I look around today, seeing faces filled with emotions: joy, sadness, contentment, and even fear. With so much going on in the world and in our lives, it's easy to get lost in it all. Despite this roller coaster of a journey that our year has been through, I believe we share a bond unlike any other year before us. We are the first year in the history of the world to go through their final school year during a global pandemic. Not many people can say this. While this pandemic itself presented its challenges, there is always a silver lining. We as a year shared an unspoken mutual bond that will forever remain in our memories. The challenges and obstacles we've had to go through have been enormous. Our shared experiences of lockdowns, online schooling, social distancing, and an overall COVID world has imprinted on us forever. The lessons we've learned from this will ensure we remain agile, resilient, creative thinkers, and people who are capable of pushing through anything. What remains important, however, is recognizing the immense privilege Herzlia Matrics have had during COVID. Herzlia, being the fine institution it is, allowed for us to receive an exceptional education during these turbulent times. However, it would be for nothing if not to acknowledge what the rest of our country have had to endure. While it's great for me to speak about the adversity we faced and how we've had to overcome it, hundreds of thousands of young South Africans were not afforded the same luxuries as us. This does not mean we should feel guilty for our privilege, but strive for a country where all people are treated equally. Leaving a lasting impression as the head student, where my peers remember the leaders and institution they once belonged to, is something I've struggled with throughout my journey for the past year. Before writing this speech, I thought to myself, how can I let my peers remember what my legacy as the head student was to them? After thinking and thinking, I realized it was never about me. It's always been about us. Our legacy isn't limited to the individual, but rather a collective. Our legacy of the class, as the class of Herzlia 2021 only truly exists in our collective memory. We define what we want our legacy to be. And I think that's what I want to leave you all of you here today with. Look at the faces around you, next to you. Remember them, for they represent the legacy that we leave here. Never again will you experience what you've had here with these people, your peers, for the last 12 years. As I said before, these are the people who have made the foundation of who you are. Thank you to Mr. Falconer and Ms. Cookard for your ongoing support and guidance for my role as the head student. On a personal note, thank you to Ms. Cohen for your mentorship for the past 3 years, and thank you to my amazing parents. I have to say a special thank you to my mom. Your constant love, encouragement, and support has made me who I am today, and I cannot thank you enough for that. To conclude, I would like to read part of a poem from the immortal words of Dr. Seuss. I hope it inspires the class of 2021 to realize this is just the beginning. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head and feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down the streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. You may not find any you'll want to go down, and in that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there, in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy as you, and footsy as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. Thank you.
A very good morning. I'm going to include my welcome and my thanks because we're short for time. Rabonim, including our campus rabbi, Sean Cannon, to Matthew Grusd, to Mrs. Sharon Levy, to all the board governors for their ongoing support of the school. Sharon, they had enough to eat. To Mr. Andries van Rensen, the CEO of the United Herzlia Schools, to Mr. Jeff Cohen, unfortunately not here today, to Mr. David Ginsberg, It's also noteworthy that this is David's last valedictory and prize giving. He retires after 33 years at Herzlia. Goodbye and thank you, David, personally and also from the school that you have helped to build. To Human Resources, to Admin, to Jeremy Broom, who's had a torrid time, Robin and Security, Essential Staff, all the Grounds and Maintenance staff, to Elodie and Catering, to all of my PMC colleagues for their preparation of these most excellent Herzlia graduates, almost from conception, it seems, chai to chai. To my dear friend and colleague, Mr. Sam, thank you, Mr. Sam, utterly reliable, integrous, and you are here both as academic head and a proud father today. To the high school management, Mr. Shane Brawson, what a pleasure it has been to work with you this year, Shane, and also to thank Ms. Judith Kohler. To our SLC executive, Bizarre, Rachel Woolman, Jonty Skolny, and Shalia Samakowski. What a challenging and tricky leadership term of office you have had, and how commendably you and your committee have risen to the challenge. It has been a real pleasure working with you, and thank you. A special thank you to Ms. Kirsten Kukard for managing so beautifully and efficiently and kindly the entire school leadership program. To Ms. Rain Leviton and the high school PTA for all the endless help and advice, lots of advice, for warmth and kindness, and for the tea that we are going to enjoy afterwards, and also a thanks to Vida Cafe for the coffee and hot chocolate that we are going to enjoy after. Thanks to Cara Dallas and to Lisa Feinstein, to Sandy Scher for all the marketing advice and support. This is also a time to acknowledge the extraordinary work of mentors and teachers. Never have we been so challenged. There's a word that used to be in fashion, which I never used quite enough, and so I'm going to do it now. Pivot. I've never been prouder and more affirmed in the education that Herzlia offers and what has happened over these last 2 years. You are a wonderful, caring, and dedicated group of professionals, and I know that the students would want to thank you for your professional and your personal investment. This does not happen at every school. A special thanks to the counselors, and more on this a little later. The Educational Support Department, without whom we would be heads without hearts, and that is a dangerous recipe. To Miss Sally Boddington, the grade 12 head, who has really taken her duties seriously. We don't have cut flowers because she's a biology teacher, so we have growing plants. That's not by accident. You have taken this entire ceremony under your wing. You have invested yourself not just in this, but in the welfare of the Matric group generally. I am going to clap for you now. Thank you, Sally. To SALT for both all of the technical support and for streaming. To Iva Jaffe. Where's that? And finally, no, not finally, second finally, to the matrics of our parent group who have supported, fought for, paid for their children to have one of the finest educations imaginable. I'm sure that you are as proud as I am to see the capable, prepared, and confident young adults in front of us now. And now, M21, the Matric group. Today is especially to recognize and say goodbye to you and to wish you well. But before I do that, there are several staff members also leaving the school, and I want to speak to two special ones before I address your group. Mr. Ronnie Godkin has been associated with Herzlia but wait, there's more. Ronnie Godkin has been associated with Herzlia for 55 years, man and boy. as a student at university, as a teacher, and then as the principal of Highlands. The wonder years. And most lately, as the systemic head of Hebrew. I'm not sure that we should ever use systemic and Herzlia in the same sentence. Systemic head of Hebrew and teacher of Hebrew in the high school. Daniel Schiff, I wonder if you remember writing in the Wonder Years book, I know Mr. Godkin does not care about winning. He is a very understanding person, I know that. That's sound advice for prize giving. And what's more, it was after reading this wise and considered comment from Daniel that I removed my comment from my speech, which said last year our aggregate was 79% with an average of 4.3 distinctions per candidate. So I don't believe it's entirely unrealistic to expect a nice increase on both of those numbers. But the last thing you need is no pressure, so I took that out. Thank you, Daniel. I wonder, Kayla Falk, if you remember writing, I think that Mr. Godkin would be good at being a lawyer because he's good at correcting people's mistakes. And then very unlawyerly activities, he puts people in the right and not in the wrong. Now that's quite an achievement. John T. Skolny, you do remember writing, Mr. Godkin is confident at making speeches. He is clever at making comments and corrections. And Emma Savan said, I would compare Mr. Godkin to an owl. He is so serious. And Gillard Sherman had a particularly vivid imagination and said, I wonder if you remember this, Gillard. What I think Mr. Godkin liked most about being a principal was relaxing in the staff room with the ladies. It's impossible to do justice to your profound investment in our school over the years, Ronnie. To the thousands upon thousands of children, some of them now grandparents, who join me in thanking you, in wishing you well in the future. I know that even this is not the final farewell because you continue with some small part of teaching next year. Ronnie, you have made an indelible impression on the very fabric of Herzlia, and you leave with generations of love and gratitude. And I know that you are going to talk later. Herzlia. One more sad and reluctant duty is to say farewell to Haley Harriet Rubin. Our very dear colleague, she's making Alia. She's been at the heart of Herzlia for many years, has been the psychological and moral lighthouse of our school, the guide by which so many of us have made the choices and decisions. When I was a small boy, maybe I was about 20 actually, there was a program that is now on Netflix called Star Trek. I'm sure you've watched it. Deanna Troi, the half-betazoid. She had sonic powers. She could sense emotion. I loved her with all my heart. As I have come to love you, Haley Harriet. In all our voyages to places unknown, through the tempestuous seas of these last 2 years, Haley Harriet has been a serene, always smiling, always spreading calmness and compassion, containing wisdom, like a gentle and profoundly penetrating light and warmth through the damp and cold, encompassing, encouraging, giving hope, and calming. Herzlia will not be the same without you, Herzlia. We will all miss you, and I not least of them. Thank you. You have changed the life of our school, and even though you're not here in person, you will continue to show a better, higher, and more evolved way. Right, on to the matrics. God bless you all. You have done well. As Benjamin said, never in living memory has there been such a disruption to our lives, so suddenly, so entirely, and so enduringly. We don't yet know what this means. We do know, though, that this is something that will always bond you and something that you have endured. You know you can. You have made it. You will be fine. We have all been affected by this virus, profoundly and sometimes painfully. And for you all in an unstable, volatile, unsafe, and unpredictable world, you have survived, and for many, you have flourished. As my favorite poet of all time has to say, I am part of all that I have met. Yet all experience is an arch where through gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. You are part of what you have experienced. And that is no small thing. You are not just survivors. You have, each in your own way, been fired and forged in the fires of a global pandemic, and you have made it to the end of your matric year, and many have not. Moreover, you will always be part of a community. You will have the camaraderie of your peers and friends. You are loved and supported by your teachers, your mentors, and your parents. I mentioned this at the matric dinner. Actually, let's be honest and call it a dance. For some reason, it was not the time to think about these things at that moment. For teachers too, this matric leave-taking is a time to reflect. It is such a strange thing that we teachers do, and perhaps to a lesser extent, it is also the situation for parents. We grow to love you. Sometimes it's a strain, but we do. We grow to love you in our strange way, and every year we let you go, and it is always a wrench. You may not believe it, but it is true. We strive to make you independent, not just in your thinking habits, but in your engagement with life. And in so doing, we create the outcome of what we fear the most, our own irrelevance and our own sadness. It is, as every parent knows, a difficult but necessary process. Each of you now will cast your own light, will make your own shadows. I and the staff wish you farewell. Be strong, be healthy, be grateful, be happy, be kind. Tomorrow and forever. Shalom.
Good morning again. The awards this morning are set out in 3 categories. I will read the general awards, and certificates and awards will be handed out by Mrs. Hayley Rubin. The academic awards will be read by Mrs. Sally Boddington and handed out by Mr. Ronnie Gotkin. The Premier Awards will be read and handed out by Mr. Mark Falconer. The prize winners have been very carefully selected, and where we could not validly distinguish between 2 or more outstanding candidates, the prize has been awarded jointly. We begin with the awards for outstanding extracurricular achievement and contribution to the ethos of the school. I now call on Mrs. Hayley Rubin to hand these awards out. We begin with the Irvin Jacobson Memorial Award for General Knowledge. Benjamin Daniel, Ariella Katzif, and Gideon Swade. You may come up. You may come up to receive your awards. I will notify Matrics when you are not coming up for awards. The Drama Cup. The recipient has been extensively involved in drama, both in and outside of the classroom, Joseph Zelezniak. The late Ruby and Ann Scheikman Cultural Award for an excellent contribution to the cultural life of the school over the last 3 years, Joshua Sifrin Sher. The Renee and Ernest Sampson Award for Service to the Community this year goes to a recipient who has fundraised for the Rowan Bloom Foundation and collected over 100,000 rand to combat those afflicted with childhood cancer, Jessie Sher. For dedication to helping others and for a passionate commitment to addressing social injustices. This year, the award goes to Georgia Helfrich. For her outreach work on the Interact Committee, Rachel Rod. The late David Bunn Memorial Trophy for service to the school as a member and then as head of the medical team, Daniela Wolfson. The Solly Kaplinski Shield, endowed by Elliot and Myra Osrin, for service, helpfulness, and consideration to others. This year, the award goes to 3 pupils who have demonstrated the values so highly regarded at Herzlia in interactions and relationships both in and out of the classroom. Julia Kaimovitz, Erin Norrie, and John T. Skolny. The Eleanor Ulrich Memorial Award for Outstanding Service to the School. This award goes to 3 pupils, Shalia Samakowski, John T. Skolny, and Benjamin Zah. The Aaron and Leah Malka-Silbert Award for the head students for their leadership during their term of office. The head student is already over there, Benjamin Czar. Deputy heads Shalia Samakowski, John T. Skolny, and Rachel Woolman. The next group of awards is given in recognition of interactions within each of the classes given by the subject teachers. For these awards, as some of the groups are large, we ask for these awards that the students concerned stand up and remain standing for the duration of the category to be read out. Please hold your applause until the end of the category. So pupils will not be coming up for these awards. When your name is read out, please stand up, remain standing until advised to sit. Mrs. Haley Rubin, you can have a seat or stay as we read these awards. For passion, interest, and engagement in learning. In accounting, Ryan Hendler. In Afrikaans, we're going to hold our applause because the groups are quite big. We will give a very big cheer at the end. In Afrikaans, Mia Flax, Julia Kaimovitz, Jake Lockich, Noah Maisel, Daniel Marsden, Tome Mazor, Ryan Shapiro, Rachel Woolman. In Beit Midrash, Benjamin Daniel, Joshua Levine, Aaron Nari, Benjamin Czar, Joseph Selesniak. In Business Studies, Benjamin Sulkus. In Consumer Studies, Nicole Jaffe, Julia Kaimovitz, Nikapik. In Computer Application Technology, Philippa Motta, Jared Scher, Hannah Sapira. In English, Siona Cohen, Gabriel Gottlieb, Adam Gradner, Adam Julian, Daniel Marsden, Tome Marzor, Rafaela Meltz, Georgina Seif, Alexandra Cerebro, Jake Videtsky, Jake Weitzman, Rachel Woolman, Benjamin Czar. In Dramatic Arts, Noah Maisel, Alexandra Cerebro. In Economics, Adam Julian, Hannah Levy, Ella Morn, Itai Melnick, Jade Romani, Georgina Seif, Jared Scher, Karen Shachot, Benjamin Sulkus, Tabiso Shishonga, Nathan Wells. In Hebrew, Shani Lahav, Tomer Mazor. In History, Nicole Jaffe, Julia Kaimovitz, Alexandra Cerebro. In Jewish Life and Learning, Idan Aaron, Siona Cohen, Mia Flax, Adam Gradner, Georgia Helfrich, Adam Julian, Sam Kilborn, Rafaela Meltz, Alana Morris, Daniel Nahum, Julia Peters, Carly Resnick, Alexandra Cerebro, and Jake Weitzman. In Life Orientation, Georgia Helfrich, Nicole Jaffe, David Levy, Hannah Levy, Jake Lockich, Rafaela Meltz, Rachel Rod, Alexandra Cerebro, Joseph Selesniak. In Life Sciences, Ariella Khan, Angela Constantaris, Nicole Jaffe, Rafaela Meltz, Ayala Nathan, Nika Pick, Shalia Samakowski, John T. Skolny, and Karen Shachot. In Mathematics, Benjamin Daniel, Dylan Friedman, Karen Shachot, and Jake Videtsky. In mathematical literacy, Georgia Helfrich, Nicole Jaffe, Julia Kaimovitz, Claudia Levy, Elamon, Daniel Nahum, Julia Peters, Nika Pick, Carly Resnick, Rachel Rod, Shalia Samakowski, Alexandra Cerebro, Hannah Sapira, Justine Williams, and Rachel Woolman. In tourism, Rebecca Chin and Romy Hermes. In visual arts, Noah Castro, Ariella Khan, Angela Constantaris, Kyla Falk, Mia Flax, Samuel Foreman, Shani Lahav, Ayala Nathan, Carly Resnick, Shalia Samakowski, and Joshua Sifrin Scher. You may now give them a very big round of applause. And you may now be seated. We are now moving on to agility and adaptability to various learning environments. Again, these are long categories. We can't help it that we have such fantastic students that we would like to acknowledge. So again, please hold your applause until the end of the group. We are looking at agility and adaptability to various learning environments. For Afrikaans, Rebecca Chin, Benjamin Gluckman, Shani Lahav, Ella Morn, Jaden Moore, Nikapik, Carly Resnick, Karen Shachot, and Jamie Stevenson. Please stand if you can. In Beit Midrash, Jed Katz, Ariella Katzif, David Levy, Jake Lockich, Oliver Nari, Shalia Samakowski, Gilad Sherman, Leor Sherman, Joshua Sifrin Sher, Thomas Sola, Tabiso Shishonga, Daniela Wolfson. In Business Studies, Daniel Nahum. In Consumer Studies, Justine Williams. In Computer Application Technology, Philippa Motta, Jared Sher, Hannah Sapira. In Economics, Idan Aaron, Mia Flax, Guy Julian, Liam Kagan, Ella Morn, Eli Mazur, and Oliver Nari. In History, Francesca van Hastian. In Life Sciences, Mia Flax, Dylan Friedman, Gabriel Gottlieb, Nicole Jaffe, Liam Kagan, Hannah Levy, Jake Lockich, Ella Morn, Hannah Sapira. In Mathematics, Angela Constantaris, Cody Lorenz, Oliver Nari, Thomas Sola. In Mathematical Literacy, Idan Aaron, Darby Futerin, Noah Maisel, Daniel Nahum, and Justine Williams. In Tourism, Jamie Stevenson. You may now have a big round of applause and be seated. The last of these big awards that you do not come up for is for fostering an environment conducive to collegial learning. In Afrikaans, Siona Cohen, Adam Grabner, Julia Kaimovitz, Jake Lockich, Shalia Samakowski, Ryan Shapiro, John T. Skolny, Alexandra Cerebro, Hannah Sapira, Francesca van Hastian, and Justine Williams. In Beit Midrash, Nicole Jaffe, Julia Kaimovitz, Hannah Levy, Ayala Nathan, Nikapik, Emma Savan, Karen Shachot, Rachel Wallman. In Business Studies, Claudia Levy, Julia Peters. In Consumer Studies, Noah Maisel. In Computer Application Technology, Philippa Motta and Jared Sher. In Dramatic Arts, Rachel Wallman. In Economics, Claudia Levy. Erin Nari and Rachel Wallman. In History, Benjamin Czar and Rachel Wallman. In Life Sciences, Michael French, Hannah Levy, Emma Savan, Alexandra Cerebro, Thomas Sola, Francesca van Hastian, Daniela Wolfson. In Mathematics, Hannah Levy. In Tourism, Julia Kaimovitz and Jamie Stevenson. They can now have a big round of applause. And you may now be seated, and I can invite Mrs. Haley Rubin back onto the stage. The next group of awards is presented in recognition of outstanding achievement and contribution to the Jewish life and learning in the school. The late Morris and Rosa Walt Prize for Jewish Life and Learning, for commitment to growth in Torah learning and dedication to the Beit Midrash program, Hannah Levy and Jake Lockich. The Roy Steinman Cup. The Roy Steinman Cup, endowed by the 1996 Parent-Teacher Association for the pupil who has made an outstanding contribution to the Jewish life of the school, Rachel Wallman. The Abe Immerman Award for Jewish Life and Learning, for demonstrating exemplary dedication and commitment to Jewish life at Herzlia, Benjamin Daniel, Mia Flax, Julia Kaimovitz, Hannah Levy, Daniel Marsden, Erin Nari, Oliver Nari, and Rachel Wallman. We might just need an in-action shot for this one. Okay. We'll do an action shot. And do it afterwards, do an action shot. Yes. I'm going to call up the next award. So once you have your certificate, brilliant. The Abe Buchman Award for Zionism. For dedication to furthering the cause of Zionism in the school, Daniel Marsden. The Charles Ment Award for Jewish Studies, for dedication, commitment, interest, and a positive contribution to class, Ryan Shapiro. The Rose and Abe Whitkin Cup, for interest shown in Jewish history, Benjamin Daniel, Michael French, and Gideon Swade. This concludes the general awards for 2021. Now follows the category of academic awards. I will now call on Mrs. Sally Boddington to read these out, and they will be presented by Mr. Ronnie Gotkin.
We begin with the Dr. Leonard Mendelsohn Award for History for dedication, commitment, interest, and positive contribution in class to Jake Dvidetsky and Rachel Wallman. The Goldstein Literary Award for the best piece of English writing in the preliminary examinations goes to 3 recipients: Gabriel Gottlieb, Rafaela Meltz, and Joseph Zalesniak. The Bryce Silbert Memorial Award. This award goes to a pupil for commitment and dedication to studies over the past 3 years with both positivity and optimism. Jamie Stevenson. The late Joseph Arbert's Memorial Award for the best piece of Hebrew writing is awarded to Shani Lahav. The Jane and Ellie Lisson Award. This recipient has shown considerable dedication in his approach to his schooling, and he demonstrates the values of Menschlichkeit so highly prized at Herzlia and has achieved commendable results in his studies. Noah Maisel. The Afrikaans Society Cup for achieving the top mark in the creative writing section of the prescribed Afrikaans portfolio in grade 12 is awarded to Adam Gradner and Francesca van Heestien. The Justin Schifrin Cup for showing resilience in the classroom by always working through difficulty to realize tasks goes to Kayla Hammerson. The Sarah Tombuck Cup, in recognition of exceptional engagement with a piece of art produced by a matric pupil during the matric year. The award goes to Noah Castro. Noah responded to the theme of the final practical exam footprint by considering the physical or emotional footprints we might leave on others. The Martine, Lauren, and Amanda Krawitz Award for personal growth and a committed approach to academic studies over the past 3 years at the high school. Daniel Nahum. The Abramson Family Award for the matric pupil who has shown the most impressive academic progress over the course of the matric year. This year, it is shared between 2 pupils who have improved by over 9% each over the 3 terms of matric. These are Darby Futrin and Erin Zeev. The Yale and Tanya Band Cup, awarded for exceptional commitment to studies, recognized unanimously by each subject teacher. It is a high honor to be selected for this award as it reflects a student's commitment to each of their subjects. As I call the names, please can students stand as before and remain standing until the end, where we can recognize you with a round of applause for this achievement. Chad Browse, Rebecca Chin, Ziona Cohen, Ariella Kahn, Angelo Constantaris, Benjamin Daniel, Mia Flax, Dylan Friedman, Adam Gradner, Georgia Helfrich, Nicole Joffe, Adam Julian, Julia Kaimovitz, Hannah Levy, Jake Lockridge, Noah Maisel, Rachel Rod, Shalia Samakowski, Jonty Skolny, Georgina Seif, Hannah Tsapara, Francesca van Hastien, Jake Vedetsky, Jake Weitzman, Rachel Woolman, Daniela Wolfson, and Joseph Zalesniak. The PricewaterhouseCoopers Award for obtaining the highest average for accounting and mathematics in the preliminary examinations goes to Georgina Seif. We now move on to the grade 12 subject prizes. These prizes are given in recognition of the highest achiever in the subject over the course of the year. In accounting, the Bass Gordon Willis Accounting Prize for the top academic pupil in accounting goes to Georgina Seif. In business studies, the Miriam Wald Prize for Business Studies is awarded to Jake Weitzman. In consumer studies, the theory winner is Nicole Joffe. In economics, the late S. Lamb Prize for Economics is awarded to Jake Vedetsky. The Dr. David Miller Prize for Mathematics, presented by Imelda and the late Louis Miller in memory of their son David, is awarded to Gabriel Gottlieb. The Dr. David Miller Prize for Mathematical Literacy, presented by Imelda and the late Louis Miller in memory of their son David, award goes to Idan Erin. The Israel Karmowitz Award for History is awarded to Joseph Zelezniak. The History Research Award for outstanding dedication and commitment to independent research and academic writing is awarded to Justine Williams and Joseph Zelezniak. In Life Sciences, the Zalman Atlas Prize for Life Sciences is awarded to Ziona Cohen. In Hebrew, the late David Rosen Memorial Award for Hebrew goes to Shani Lahav. In Visual Arts, the late Ahuva Ginn Prize for Visual Arts for the Practical goes to Ariella Khan and Ayala Nathan. I would like to call up with these two the award winner for the late Sharon Berenice Diamond Award for Visual Culture Studies, which is Visual Arts, the theory winner, which is Mia Flax. The Zalman Atlas Prize for Physical Sciences is awarded to Joseph Zelezniak. In English, the Issy Cohen Prize for English is awarded to Gabriel Gottlieb and Joseph Zelezniak. In Afrikaans, the Dolly Zipper Memorial Prize for Afrikaans First Additional Language goes to Ziona Cohen and Adam Gradner. The Afrikaans First Additional Language Prize for the highest oral mark achieved in the grade also goes to Adam Gradner. In Information Technology, the Arthur Kaplan Award for Information Technology for the Practical Assessment Task is awarded to Ziona Cohen, Adam Gradner, Cody Lorenz. And the subject, you may give them the subject prize winners of this award are Chad Browse, David Levy, and Itai Melnick. In Computer Application Technology, for For the practical assessment task, the award goes to Philippa Motta and Jared Scher. Also, for computer application technology, the theory subject prize winner is, or winners are, Darby Futrin and Thomas Sola. In dramatic arts, the award for the practical performance goes to Joseph Zalesniak, and the award for theory goes to Jake Vedetsky, Rachel Woolman, and Joseph Zalesniak. In tourism, both the practical and the theory award goes to Rebecca Chin. In life orientation, the staff-wise prize for life orientation is awarded to Ziona Cohen, Shalia Samakowski, and Joseph Zalesniak. The Grade 12 Academic Achievement Awards for having attained an average of 80% or more in the preliminary examinations written in 2021. These are read in alphabetical order. Please can I ask these students to stand when their name is called and remain standing, and can I ask that we all hold our applause until the end. Jonathan Conn, Benjamin Daniel, Adam Gradner, Nicole Joffe, Adam Julian, David Levy, Hannah Levy, Daniel Marsden, Ella Morn, Tomer Mazur, Itai Melnick, Ayala Nathan, Jonathan Patterson, Nika Pick, Rachel Rod, Shalia Samakowski, Daniel Schiff, John T. Skolny, Georgina Seif, Karen Schuchot, Benjamin Sulkus, Joseph Falcon, Francesca van Hestien, Jake Vedetsky, Nathan Wells, Jake Weitzman, Justine Williams, Rachel Woolman, and Benjamin Saar. May I give them a round of applause. Thank you. I now call on Mr. Mark Falconer to read and hand out the Premier Awards.
These last few awards are richly deserved. The first is the Akbar Award, presented to the grade 12 pupil who best exemplifies Menschlichkeit, for which Herzlia stands, by showing exceptional generosity of spirit, awareness of human connectedness during his or her time at the high school. This year it's awarded to two exceptional pupils who, through their conduct and their relationships, best illustrate the spirit and the essence of this award. It gives me a great pleasure to invite Shalia Samakowski and Rachel Woolman to come forward to collect this. Dorothy Weitzman Award for service to the school, for passionate service to the school as part of the debating team both internationally and representing the school nationally. An exceptional achievement. It really gives me great pleasure to award this to Joseph Zalesniak. The Principal's Award for Outstanding Commitment and Service to the School. This is endowed by the class of 1969 in honor of their 50th anniversary. This year, the award goes to Rachel Woolman. I wasn't invited early enough. The Union of Orthodox Synagogue Cape Council Award this year is awarded to 2 recipients. Both recipients have contributed significantly to the Judaic life of Herzlia over the past 3 years. A great pleasure to award this to Julia Kaimovitz and Erin Norrie. The second and last award of today, the Rousseau van Sale Memorial Award. This is a special award in recognition of having attained an average of 90% or more in the prelim examinations. This year, shared by 4 people: Chad Browse, Tiona Cohen, Gabriel Gottlieb, and Joseph Zelezniak. The final award for today, the award for the top academic pupil in grade 12 for having achieved an average of 92% in the National Senior Certificate Prelim exams and for obtaining distinctions in 7 out of 7 subjects, Tiona Cohen and Joseph Zelezniak.
I would now like to hand over to each of the grade 12 mentors in order to address their mentees. Some mentees unfortunately couldn't be here today, but they have prepared a few words and I will read them out on their behalf. So we will start with Ms. Annika Adams.
Good morning. I was privileged to be the mentor of the first group, which is essentially like the first team of the mentees. They didn't tell the rest of the mentor groups, but I had the first team. It's literally in the title. And they were a brilliant bunch of kids. I really grown to love them. It's 6 months, but in many ways, they kind of mentored me while I was finding my feet. So thank you for being patient with me and for enduring all the, I don't know what's happening right now moments. Belinda has shared a message, so I don't know, Jackie. I'll do it. Okay. Belinda says, congratulations on a wonderful achievement and good luck to such a hardworking, mature, delightful group of students. I enjoyed every minute of being your mentor, and I will always treasure the moments we have shared together. After a crazy and unusual period in time, we somehow managed oh, that's the typo, I'll just fix it for her. We somehow managed to become even closer together. I am extremely impressed at the achievement you have all managed to accomplish during these trying times. Something you should all be incredibly proud of and take with you as part of your journey. I am very sad not to be there for this memorable moment, and you are always in my thoughts, wishing you all the best for the final stretch. And I concur with what she has said, and I wish you all the best, and thank you for allowing me to be there for 6 months. Good luck.
Okay, so I have a very special message all the way from another country to my mentees. Yeah, you still feel like mine. When we started in grade 10, we felt awkward, uncomfortable, and terrified the first day we met. The last day we were together, we still felt awkward, uncomfortable, and terrified, because the day I had to say goodbye was the hardest thing for us. Some of us couldn't even say goodbye. It was just too hard. Now it's your turn to say goodbye. You guys were an amazing group. Some were even jealous of us. Each individual crept very deeply in my heart and my life. From middle of the night videos to show me how sick you really are, to just sharing the weekend vibes, love, and care. Go out into your new journey. Go out and go forward. Be the kind and successful individuals you were meant to be. Best of luck to you all and the whole class of 2021. All my love, Bum.
Wow. You've reached the end of the 12-year journey and about to embark on a new one. And I've had the pleasure and sometimes the frustration of accompanying you for part of the way. I've really enjoyed getting to know you through our conversations that have ranged from Israeli politics to Donald Trump, from art and veganism to the delicious contents of Joshua Levine's lunchboxes, where I learned that air-fried chicken breasts are definitely the way to go. I've enjoyed hearing your stories about your holidays and your times in the dams. You see, Sam, Marcus, I was listening in, and your various accomplishments. I've enjoyed the comfortable silences too, because it's been too early in the morning to engage, or we're just too tired to talk. So my grade 12 mentor group, as you embark on a new adventure, and I'd like to wave you off from these shores with a few, what I hope are wise words and wishes. Know that you've been lucky to have been educated at a well-resourced school by a community of teachers and counselors who have cared for you and your education. Lucky that your parents have been able to send you here. Please remember to thank your parents and use the advantage that you have to engage passionately and fully with whatever is put in front of you. Fill your life with learning as much as you can, with being compassionate, with making every effort to make others happy, and with exercise to keep you fit and positive. Take pride in whatever you do, and at some point in your life, be a teacher, even just for a short while. Share your ideas and what you've learned with others, so that you build your community wherever that may be. And lastly, to quote from, that's right, okay. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst then be false to any man or woman. Go well and thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So today I'm saying goodbye to my boys and girls who arrived in the high school at the same time that I did. And I started here when they did, and I remember vividly our very first day together when I needed to take them to our classroom from the hall. And I got lost along the way with them in tow, and I met one of my then matric pupils along the way. He introduced himself to me, and I said, "It's lovely to meet you, Jaden, but do you perhaps know where my classroom is? Can you please show us?" And that's how our Herzlia High School journey together began. with a fumble and an ask for help, and then with determined purpose. And now here we are at the end of your high school journey together. I want to continue with some of Dr. Seuss that Ben started earlier. Oh, the places you'll go. There's fun to be done, there are points to be scored, the games to be won. And the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame, you'll be as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win, because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not. Alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between Heather and Jan that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You will get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You will get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. Perfect. So be sure when you step with care and great tact. And remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed, 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So be your name Gilad or Gabriel or Guy or Alex or Benji or Emma or Noah, Tabiso, Nicole, Rebecca, Johnny or Daniela, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way.
Hi. So, getting to know this group of matrics over the last 3 years, and especially after teaching more than half of you, actually I can take this off, can't I? Finally. I can say with confidence, after teaching more than half of you for this year, that I found every single one of you to be exceptional people, each in your own way. It was only 11 years ago that I was in a similar position to where you are now, can't you tell? But there's very little advice that I can give you under the current world climate that would be meaningful. So instead, I'm going to ask you a favor. Be kind. And I don't just mean to those around you. Be kind to yourself. Things are going to be hard enough out there under the pandemic without finding ways to make them harder. So practice kindness. Take the ethos of the school with you, and please go do some good in this world. If you can do this for me, I can promise that good things will come to you in spades. Until I see you again, remember to wear your masks, stay safe, and get vaccinated. Thank you.
Unfortunately, Melissa Cohen and Di DeSantos could not be here today. They are very sad at that. So I will read their messages on their behalf from Miss Melissa Cohen. Matrics of 2021, more specifically, Team Coco. It has been an honor and privilege watching your high school journey unfold, from our first mentor meetings with your parents at the end of grade 9 to our chats about what we ate for breakfast and what shows we were binging during lockdown, to watching you walk down that red carpet at the matric dinner, to now, watching you take your final bow at the valedictory. I'm so incredibly proud of each and every one of you for all that you have achieved, and I'm excited for what you will continue to achieve as you head out into the real world, sending lots of love, luck, good health, happiness, and success to the incredible class of 2021. Love, Ms. Cohen. And from Mrs. Di DeSantos, lessons in life. Music, laughter, procrastination, motivation, many interesting conversations, and what is the classroom link? We had it all, 3 of the most enjoyable years with an unbelievable group of young adults. I thoroughly enjoyed mentoring you, watching you develop and grow into the determined, ambitious, goal-orientated, and fine individuals you all are. Being on the receiving end of your humanitarian qualities, kindness, Menschlichkeit, and sincerity were all part of the privilege of being your mentor. I wish you all well for the final examinations in your future lives, to success, happiness, and achieving your best. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but the moments that take our breath away. Much love, Mrs. D.
Dear mentees, that's now the gentlemen and ladies at the back there. I have been your mentor for the past 3 years, from January 2019 up to now. During this time, you not only became physically mature, but you have also grown mentally into responsible and mature young men and women, of which I'm very proud. I hope each of your dreams will come true. Justine, to open your own bakery. Hannah, to become a passionate medical doctor. Liam, to be a successful and happy businessman. Jared, to open your own property development company. Jaden, to be a video game developer as well as a champion in online sports. Idan, to become a writer of an Oscar-nominated movie and an actor overseas. Jade, to make good money and tour the world. Nathan, to find that good job and a beautiful wife. Joseph, to carry on learning and better the world around you. Ayala, to have a healthy and happy long life with your family and besties. Rafaela, to get a BSc degree and fully develop your drama talent. Ariella, to be there for your people, to help your family, friends, and those in need. I just want to add something for my physical science class. Thank you for being such a lacquer group. I enjoyed teaching you and doing all the experiments with you. I wish you all the very best for your future, and always keep your brains busy with a little science. Thank you.
We are nearing the end of the proceedings this morning. I would like to call up Mr. Ronnie Gotkin, who would like to say a few words.
Mazel tov to all the matrics. Primary school principals, I wonder if you still do what we used to do, which is to tick off the names of the prize winners so we could club nachas and see which school achieved more prizes. You still do that? Pretending not to, of course. Pretending not to care. But we cared a lot because we like your parents. Okay. My dear colleagues, parents, pupils, friends, my first day at Herzlia was in 1962. I was a sub-A pupil, grade 1, and as I entered that first classroom down the road in Herb Street, little could I have known that almost 6 decades later, I would still be here. Okay. Perhaps if I had known, I would have said, "Oy vey, let me out of here before it's too late." I'm joking. Herzlia and I have really grown up together. Remember that in 1962, the matric class itself was only 6 years old. I was born in the same year that the foundation stone of this building was laid, and the same year in which Herzlia celebrated its very first matric graduates. I was born in 1956. Think about that. I was born 11 years after the Shoah and had my grandfather, in the face of poverty and terrible anti-Semitism, not left Latvia for South Africa in 1929, just 10 years before the outbreak of the Second World War, I would not this evening be marking my 55 years at Herzlia, 12 as a pupil and 43 as a professional. When I was born, the 2,000-year-old dream of the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel had only just been realized. In 1956, the state of Israel was only 8 years old. And for me, rather surprisingly, just a few years later, my parents chose to send me to a very tiny and fairly new school called Herzlia. That decision changed my life. My strong sense of Jewish identity, my love of Hebrew and Jewish culture, and my identification with our 4,000-year-old story and with the reborn state of Israel are all direct products of my Herzlia education. And I believe that these things have enriched me immeasurably as a person. In countless ways, therefore, I am who I am because of Herzlia. For me, it was also obvious that I would be a teacher. Some of you have heard my story of how in primary school I used to teach imaginary friends. Don't be alarmed, I knew they were imaginary. My experience of Herzlia has been varied. I've been a primary and high school pupil, a teacher, and a principal in the school. And I regard myself as extremely fortunate to have had the very special privilege of interacting with children of all ages and witnessing their growth and development from infancy to young adulthood. It has also been a privilege to work with so many dedicated and passionate colleagues over the years. I think I knew even at a young age what a marvelous thing it is to be a teacher, to spend one's working life doing something so very important, so very meaningful as teaching and hopefully educating young people. After 43 years at Herzlia as a professional, I can honestly say that were I to relive my life, I would make the same decision again. I really feel privileged and blessed to have spent so much of my life with all of you, both those present today and with those who preceded you. I will always be grateful. So it's kind of obligatory in these speeches to end off with a quote. So this one is dedicated to my current matric class. And no, it's not from Pirkei Avot. It's the first few lines of a poem we studied this year by Natan Zach. I'll read it in Hebrew and my own translation in English. Ani rotze tamid enayim. Ani rotze tamid enayim kidei lirot et yafi ha'olam ולהלל את היופי המופלא הזה שאין בו דופי, ולהלל את מי שעשה אותו יפה להלל, ומלא, כל כך מלא יופי. ואינני רוצה לעולם להיות עיוור ליופי, העולם כל עוד אני חי. אני אוותר על דברים אחרים, אבל לא אומר די לראות את היופי הזה שבו אני חי. My translation: I always want eyes to see the beauty of the world and to praise the beauty, which is marvelous and faultless, and to praise who made this beauty. Yes, to praise a world so full, so very full of beauty. And I never want to be blind to the beauty of the world as long as I live. Many things I will give up, but never will I say enough of seeing the beauty of the world in which I live. I end with this wish. May your eyes always be open. May you always see the good and the beautiful, and be thankful for all that is wonderful in your lives. Toda rabba, shalom ulehitraot.
Thank you, Ronnie. And thank you to all the mentors as well. We will now sing the South African National Anthem, followed by Hatikva. After this, Mr. Faulkner will say his parting words to the 2021 matriculants. I would like to remind matrics that if you received an academic or premier award, you need to stay behind for a photograph. Please stand for the South African Anthem and Hatikva.
I'm going to ask the Matric group to stand, please. You are now about to leave the Herzlia School Hall for the last time as a group. This is a moment that is significant and it needs to be marked. You are going to leave applauded and supported by your parents and your teachers. Outside, you are alone. Be true, for there are those that trust you. Be strong, for there is much to suffer. Be brave, for there is much to dare. Be a friend to the friendless, for we share humanity. Be giving, but forget the gift. Be humble, because you remember your vulnerability. Look up. Laugh, love, live, for there is none but you who can. Now, go in peace. Lehitrod. We're waiting for you to go.